Guys, it's me, Maddie, here with a speed paint, not the normal Minecraft thing today. And this is going to be about a series or a story that I came up with when I was a small child, when I was about 8 or more like 10 or 11. It's called The Shadow. It was actually a combination of two different comics that I made growing up. It was The Shadow, surprisingly enough, was one of them. And the other was Jess and Rex, which was about a girl and her talking dog. The girl was Jess and the dog was Rex. And so The Shadow, I just kind of made it into one and labeled it as The Shadow. And in The Shadow, there was shockingly enough, a shadow. The protagonist was, see if I can time it, 3, 2, okay. The protagonist was one Heather Lynn, who is going to be popping up in now, there she is. The original drawing of her, there she is. She was, well, first off, let me say, I originally here am going to put her hair in a ponytail, but then I'm going to switch it later, because I didn't think the ponytail looked good. And I haven't drawn ponytails in a while, which is probably why it didn't look good, but, and so anyway, Heather was the protagonist, she was the main character, and she, embodied the light side. And one of the big mysteries of the series, there was this prophecy, and it said that there were three chosen, three chosen, I guess, people for the prophecy. Obviously, the three main characters, Heather, Jason, and Heather, Jason, and Jess. And so Heather was the embodiment of the light, and it was unclear throughout the entire series, or I tried to make it unclear. I don't know how much it actually would have been if I'd ever finished it. But it was unclear whether Jason or Jess was the light side, was the embodiment of the dark side. And the dark side, it was also known as the Shadow, which, whoa, title of the book, no way. Which the Shadow was this, I don't know, it wasn't living, it was some kind of, creation. It, sucked, it, killed things, it took the life out of things, it was bad, they had to stop the Shadow. And so when the Shadow, nobody knows about the Shadow. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because, normal people, the not chosen people, can see the Shadow, but no one knew it was coming. But then it arrives, I didn't think everything through. But then, it arrives in Heather's hometown, which was in Oklahoma. Because I'm from Oklahoma, so I just made her from Oklahoma. It seemed easier. And also, never mind, I'll get to that. And so the Shadow gets to her hometown, and it, takes away her mother and best friend. And that kind of depresses her, and her dad's long dead, by the way. So then but before that happens, she starts hearing a voice in her head, and it's Jason. There he is, perfect timing. There he is, Jason Douglas, and he and Heather, and also Jess, but those two especially, have a connection due to the prophecy. They can, when one of them is asleep, they can communicate to the other one who's awake. So only requirement, one of them needs to be asleep. That may have changed later in the series, if I had ever gotten very far in it. I had the entire story, planned out, but I never wrote much of it. Anyway, so the thing with Jason was, it was known that he was a member of the prophecy by the villain. The villain wasn't sure about the other two members, but he knew that Jason was one of them. So he kidnapped Jason and held him like prisoner since he was 8, maybe 7 or 8, very young. And Jason, by the time the series starts, is 14, so he's been there for like at least half his life, or like about half his life now. And so he knows a lot about the shadow and stuff. And so when he is first able to contact another member of the prophecy, he goes and of course warns her. And now we're on to Jess. Okay. So yeah, that's her design also. So Jess was a bit. She had some anger issues, as you can probably tell from the picture, the expressions and the unhappy aura. It wasn't a very stable group because it was a bunch of, well, 2 of them. Well, there was a preteen and 2 young teenagers, and no adult supervision. Which, yeah. Aside from no adult supervision, aside from so I mentioned that she has a talking dog. So the reason the dog can talk is because the main villain, whose name was Dr. Frecklin, I don't know how I came up with the name, but Dr. Frecklin, and he was very interested in, he was a scientist, and he was very interested in the possibility of giving like superpowers to humans, and Rex was originally a human, and he was in these experiments. He was numbered RX24. RX24, and which would later become Rex RX. He was given the ability to shapeshift through the experiments, and there was a malfunction in the laboratory, the facility where he was, and he got caught in an explosion, panicked, turned into a dog, and got stuck that way. So he is permanently a dog now, but he can talk because he was originally human. So yeah. So yeah, and he would be in his 20s, I'd say. Yeah, 20s. I don't know that I ever wrote that down, but yeah, he'd be in about his 20s, maybe his 30s, but yeah, 20s. And I did redraw him, but I didn't time-lapse it. I just kind of drew him, and I'm going to throw him in at the end, along with the villain. Just the original picture of the villain, though, because I redrew him, and I really didn't like how it turned out. So, yeah. Okay, the coloring. We're on to the coloring now. You may have seen that I gave Heather a OSU hoodie. It's that's because I'm from Oklahoma, and I'm an OSU person, so I gave her an OSU hoodie. Not to be confused with Ohio State. This is Oklahoma State. I like the way that I did her Jess's glasses. I don't know, they're just kind of cute. Yeah. I stuck to the same outfits that I had in the original drawings. There's a Minions ad, and yeah, and then I did a background, which was Then I did the background, which was like the shadow kind of closing in and just a small amount of light in the middle. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of doodled it. And then I did a logo. Even though like this wasn't a very thought out thing, like I made it when I was relatively young, this series, but it was so much fun. Like it really like got me to where I am today. I feel like in writing, with writing stuff, I don't know that I would have gotten very far. Like, I don't know. It just helped me, like, a lot. Like, and here are the original drawings again. There's Heather, there's Jason, and there's, oh, whoops, I paused the video. And there's Jess, yeah. And there's Rex, there's Rex the dog, and then, okay, yeah, his name is Jose Franklin, and then there's the finished product, and then there's Rex, Redrawn Rex. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed, this little dive into my past. I think, I think it, turned out quite well. It's cute, it's cool to see them. It was really fun. I was going through some of my old comics the other day. That's what got me started down this rabbit hole, and it was just really fun to to look back on them, and to look back on them and remember some of these things, like my thought process and things. But yeah, okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.